Hello, everyone. We have a video here by this Islamic channel, Muslim channel, called Smile to Jannah, I think. Yes. So we're going to be reviewing. This is an Islamic channel, and this video apparently has found some hypocrisy, some inconsistency between the way the refugees have been covered in the Ukraine Russia war, comparing that to, I don't know, Muslims, the Palestinian situation, and some other examples, and other refugees from Syria. You're gonna the war, the refugees, everything that is being covered. This Islamic channel is gonna highlight that and compare them to point out that maybe there's racism going on. So why are like the refugees from Ukraine getting a different kind of coverage, preferable treatment relative to Muslim refugees? And his point is going to be that there is some racism or bigotry going on here, right? So we're going to try to be as objective as possible, as unbiased as possible, to see if we could evaluate and see if he has a point, see if he's right. Like, we're not gonna, I know, like, this is supposed to be like a lot of people's expectation is that we are an anti-Islamic channel, anti-religion channel, and this is an Islamic channel. So the expectation is that everything he says, I'm going to be against it, but I'm going to try to be as objective as possible and see if he has a point. I'm gonna try to give him credit for that, right? Secular Rarity, he's saying, woo, morning time with Secular Jihadists. And Secular Rarity is confirming that the audio is good. Ian is here. Ian is saying hello, hello. Ian is also confirming everything is good. And also Jack is saying, hi, Armin. Hi, Jack. Okay, cool. I'm gonna play a little bit of the audio of this clip. Let me know if the audio from the clip is coming through.
Today's weather, we have light sunny spells with heavy rains.
Right? Is that good?
Of hypocrisy.
Heavy rains of hypocrisy. Okay, so the whole point is to show the hypocrisy. The audio, is the audio good from the video? Do you had the audio from the clip as well? Yes. Okay, good. All right, let's go, sir.
That's a agenda.
The Quranly app. Subscription cheaper than
This is just the
Netflix.
ad.
Encouraging Quran reading. Modern, engaging, and fun. Download it today. Assalamu alaikum, guys, and welcome to another episode of Smile to Jannah. Yes, that's right. With the Russia and Ukraine news, the media has dropped its facade, its curtain, exposed itself to everybody with regards to what it really thinks. Here are 7 juicy hypocrisies that have come to light. The first
7 juicy hypocrisies. Okay.
First one, suicide bombing. Being a Muslim, you will know that this is something that has been bashed over our heads with. Of course, we know what Islam says about suicide bombing. We don't want to reinvent the wheel, but here we can see the media glorifying it. And the person that's done it, he's a hero, mate. Yeah, that's right. He's a hero. Oh, suddenly they can become heroes. I thought there was a zero tolerance policy on these things. Number 2.
Okay, let's do number 1 first, before we go to number 2. Okay. So this is the story of the Ukrainian soldier who blew himself up to basically stop the Russians from being able to use a bridge, right? So is there an example of hypocrisy here? So his argument is that this guy was celebrated as a hero, but apparently up until now, everybody was against suicide bombing. But now all of a sudden, when this white guy does suicide bombing, we're being hypocrites and we're like celebrating this, journalists, the media, everybody is celebrating him as a hero. So that shows that we're being hypocrites, right? And I mean, this is the easy, like, I'm really trying to give him any good points that he makes, but this is too stupid. Okay, like I'm sorry, small to Jannah guy, whatever your name is. Come on, obviously it's not like if people have an issue with like um ISIS or Al Qaeda suicide bombers, it's not the method at which they're using. It's the objective is the issue. Like he acts like up until now everybody unanimously just completely said that if you do suicide bombing, you are evil. But even before we had ISIS and Al Qaeda, we have a whole bunch of stories and of acts of heroism for people who like give their life and maybe through an explosion did something heroic. The problem obviously is not the method with ISIS and Al Qaeda. The problem was that these people were on the side of evil, right? Nobody, like, I don't think people, if you, like, for example, we even have movies about this, right? Like, I don't know, like, we have in movies in Hollywood with heroes like going into where, like, I don't know, Hitler is and blowing it up while they, what was that movie? What was that alternative history movie where like they killed Hitler in a movie theater and they burned themselves and including all the Nazis that were in the movie theater as well, right? I know there's so many examples of people dying going down with the enemy, but because the enemy was evil, this was always celebrated and as an act of heroism. Yes, like yeah, exactly. Random Buddhist guy is saying in the movie is Inglorious Bastards, right? But there's many examples. Like this is not hypocrisy. The issue is that this guy is a hero because he did something noble, like he's on the right side of this war, right? And the ISIS and Al Qaeda, like, are you like, why is he even saying that? Like, you're not defending this guy is not defending ISIS and Al Qaeda. I'm sure he himself condemns those suicide bombings. Like, is he pretending like is he pretending that the reason why we condemn those suicide bombings is because they're like Muslim? Well, you condemn them as well. How come your condemnations of those suicide bombings are okay, but our condemnation of those suicide bombings is all of a sudden bigoted? So you get to condemn them, we don't get to condemn them because if we do it is based on bigotry. Like I don't understand. Obvious. Oh my god, this is too easy, guys. Am I being unfair to him? Like I'm really trying not to be unfair to him. This is too stupid. This is too stupid. Is this really a hypocrisy that you find? Well, if this is hypocrisy, then you're also a hypocrite. You pointed out at the beginning of this that you don't accept those, like you condemn them, right? You do not endorse what they're doing. But are you against this guy trying to save his country by blowing up this bridge? I'm pretty sure if you ask him, he doesn't condemn this guy, but he condemns ISIS and Al Qaeda. So if we're a hypocrite, aren't you also a hypocrite? Because you're on the same side on both of these issues. Secular Rarity is saying, yeah, there's a huge difference between sacrificing yourself in an explosion to stop others from killing innocent people and blowing yourself up to kill innocent people. Thank you, Secular Rarity. Like that's fantastic. You actually summarized this much better than I could. Yeah, that what they're doing with the suicide bombing is the reason why we condemn it. Not, oh my god. So by the way, for people who are listening to this on a podcast, what he has highlighted is basically the story. The story of I'm going to read the headline of what he has on the screen. Ukrainian vow to give Putin hell. Marine blows himself up with a bridge to halt the enemy as ex-leader takes to the streets to fight with civilians. Pentagon says efforts are slowing Russian advance. Yeah, I'm pretty sure most of you have heard of this person. This person, they were supposed to blow up the bridge, but they didn't have enough time. So this person basically said goodbye to all his comrades, and he just blew the bridge along with himself on the bridge. and he's rightfully considered to be a hero. Like here, for example, here's another thing: if a Muslim, okay, did a sacrifice like this to stop Al Qaeda or ISIS, that that Muslim would also be considered a hero, because he sacrificed himself to stop an evil, right? So it's not the fact that they're Muslim that is an issue, right? Because rightfully so, we have actually. I remember there was a story of a Muslim like sacrificing himself. I don't remember what was it, but he died trying to stop ISIS and Al Qaeda. Okay, I forgot what the story was, but like I remember celebrating that person as a hero. So yeah, that doesn't stop him being a Muslim doesn't stop us from celebrating somebody like that. Yeah. So yeah, secular rights is saying like, yeah, right. It would be like getting mad at surgeons because people aren't supposed to cut other people open. Yeah, like that. Yeah. Anyways, so that okay. I'm trying not to be biased here. Okay, let me know if you guys try to hold me responsible. We're gonna try to steelman this guy. Okay.
Oh, suddenly numbers, they can become heroes. Hero, mate. Yeah, that's right. He's a hero. Oh, suddenly they can become heroes. I thought there was a zero tolerance policy on these things. No.
I don't understand. I'm pretty sure if you sat down with this man and I asked them, do you consider Al Qaeda and ISIS suicide bombers heroes? He would say no. And if I ask him, would you consider this Ukrainian guy who did this a hero? He would say yes. I'm pretty sure like he has enough sense to be able to say those things. So if we are hypocrites, he's also a hypocrite. Anyways, let's go number 2.
Number 2, the Foreign Secretary said she doesn't mind if people from the UK go and help the war that's happening in Ukraine. Hang on a minute, when Syria was being invaded, British citizens going over was a no-go. What suddenly changed here?
Oh my God! Are you serious? Well, they were going to Syria to join ISIS. Do you not see the difference? The issue was UK citizens were going to Syria to join ISIS. Obviously, that's you don't see the difference. I'm pretty sure you're anti-ISIS. This person, I'm pretty sure he's not like supporting. He's at. Oh my God, is that really hypocritical? The foreign fighters that are going to Ukraine, they're supporting Ukraine against a foreign invasion, against the evil Putin army. Okay. The difference is when British citizens were going to Syria, they were joining. That was the difference. He thinks like we have to be consistent. We have to support. If we're saying you go like,
the war that's happening in Ukraine. Hang on a minute, when Syria was being invaded, British citizens going over was a no-go.
British citizen, not because, oh my God, British citizens going somewhere to help with a fight. If it's if it's going to join ISIS, that's bad. If they're going to go help Ukrainians against Putin, that's good. Why do you want consistency? Like if we're saying like, oh, British citizens going outside of UK to help with the war, if we condemn it in one place, for us, we have to condemn it everywhere. Like what kind of consistency do you want? Like guys, am I missing something here? Let me see. Yeah, like okay, secular rarity is agreeing, saying the forces fighting each other are totally different, man. Yeah, what the hell? Yeah, exactly. Random Buddhist guys. Like, wait, these chaps are mercenaries. Those UK citizens were radical terrorists. I'm saying the word in it from now on. Yeah. Guys, let me see. Secular rarity saying, is he seriously comparing the military government of Ukraine with various militias fighting against Assad? I mean, no way he is mad that UK citizens couldn't join Daesh, right? Like, I'm pretty sure this guy is not like pro Daesh forces, okay? Not pro ISIS. So, what is he saying? Like, if this is hypocrisy, then call me a hypocrite. Jesus Christ. Guys, please tell me if I'm being unfair to him. I want to make sure I'm being objective. Am I being biased here, or is this like, is he just making stuff up? Okay.
What suddenly changed here?
What suddenly changed? It wasn't suddenly. Okay, one of them is ISIS, the other one is Ukrainian.
Number 3 is freedom of speech. Anytime Islam is criticized, blasphemed, we're bashed over the head.
Okay, so number 3, okay, freedom of speech. So yeah, when we want to criticize Islam, yes, we say this is freedom of speech. Okay, correct so far.
Anytime Islam is criticized, blasphemed, we're bashed over the head with free.
Wait, somebody is saying something. Okay, somebody in the live chat saying he might not be, but what he wants to point out is racism somehow. Well, he's not doing a good job. He wants to make it seem like the difference is the races, but the difference is not. It's not the race. Guys, the same media that he's like calling hypocrites, they were highlighted many heroes in the same regions, many Muslim heroes in the same regions that that did acts of heroism against Daesh, against ISIS. Okay, somebody random Buddhist guy is saying, no, you aren't. I'm not being biased. Basically, he's suffering from confirmation bias and wants to create a victimization narrative. Guys, maybe we're all being so, maybe like some days I just have to wonder, maybe I am so biased and the rest of you are so biased with me that maybe like he's saying something true. Like I genuinely fear this, right? That we're just so blinded in our bias that maybe like, is this guy like making sense, and we're just like so motivated to keep our bias that we're just not seeing it, for example, because like I sometimes I genuinely like, how would I know, like if I'm so brainwashed by my own propaganda, right, that I did to myself, then how would I be waking up from the stream? Like, so from the stream. So I just want to know, like, I need you guys help me out. So if he's actually making sense and I'm the deluded one, for you guys to help me point that out. Somebody say in Russia, yeah, it's so possible we're so wrong that flat earthers are in fact right. Secular Sekai is saying this guy seems to be focusing on equating terrorist groups with legitimate military forces like the Ukrainian military. That is a dangerous precedent. Yeah, the Ukrainian military is not a terrorist group. Well, except those, that one Nazi group they have, but the rest of them, yeah. I am saying, yes, Armin, I also think that my brain goes to another level. What if you're Mossad agent? Okay, right. Let's see what this freedom. Okay, let's go back to this freedom of speech. So we already did 2. Number 1, not hypocrisy. Number 2, not hypocrisy. I'm hoping at least one of his 7 points is an actual hypocrisy. Okay, so far 2 no-go. Number 3.
Changed hair. Number 3 is freedom of speech. Anytime Islam is criticized, blasphemed, we're bashed over the head with freedom of speech, and we're told this is something that is very important for the 21st century. Aha! Until it doesn't suit you. Here, RT, which is Russia Today, it's being banned by the European Union. It's being banned by Australia.
And now a leading Australian paid TV company, Foxtel, will no longer distribute our channel RT, citing the crisis in Ukraine.
These very countries that are bastions of freedom of speech, what happened, mate? What happened to it? It went tuss, yeah?
Okay, I might want to give him this one. Yeah, I want to give him this one. Because this is like this, because if this was not the government like deplatforming these news companies, right? This is coming from the government. This is like, we can't be like, no, this is not a free speech issue because it's just a private company deplatforming you, censoring you. This is coming straight up from governments, and it's also attacking the media, like journalism, like the news, right, which is supposed to be a red line for us when the government gets involved with who gets to tell the news, who gets to do journalism. That is a major red line for the government to decide what's news, what's the correct, whose narrative is the correct narrative, right? So I'm with this guy on that. I think that's a major violation of free speech. I think that's hypocrisy. What do you guys think? I agree. Point 3, I agree with him. Let me see. Secular Rarity saying, okay, on this one, I am more sympathetic. RT is basically just propaganda from Putin, but I'm always cautious when governments want to say what news citizens can and can't watch. Yep. I very much agree with Secular Rarity as well here. Random Buddhist guy saying, yeah, anti-Russian sentiment has also risen in Europe along with censorship of Russian media. Yep. Censorship, I'm against, most forms of censorship, but some form of censorship, even though I'm against it, is not technically against your free speech if you're being deplatformed by some non-governmental body. But this is coming directly from the government. This is a violation of free speech. Okay, so somebody saying, I agree with this. However, so somebody in the live chat is saying it's a government propaganda outlet, not real journalism. Okay, I agree with you that that's what RT is, but it's not for the government to decide what's real journalism. Okay, that would be like for the government to decide what's like the truth. Like basically, that would be the same. Like it would be having like a ministry of the truth, right? Like we as consumers of news, we have to decide what we could. We have to. It's the responsibility is on us to do our research. The information has to be provided to us, and we have to educate ourselves and be aware enough of equipped ourselves with the tools to recognize what's real or not. It can't be that we it would be very dangerous to give that responsibility to a government for them to filter for us what is news, what is real news, and what is not real news. We never want to give that a government that authority. That's the whole point of free speech, is for the government not getting into the business of them deciding for us what is true and what is not true. That is our job, that is our responsibility, right? So even though I'm against RT's journalism, so-called journalism, and I think they're just a propaganda arm, they have to be. You have to let them provide their information in the marketplace of ideas. I know that's cringe now ever since Dave Rubin, But anyways, they have to provide. They have to compete with everybody else and whatever the truth is, we have to decide. We have to make, it's our responsibility, not the government's responsibility. So random Buddhist guy is also agreeing. Yeah, Jack, I agree with that. I think you're a bit behind on this. Okay, well. No Name is saying, isn't the Russian government controlling their media as well? To me, it looks like both sides are guilty of this issue. Yes, but just because they're doing it, that doesn't mean that it's okay. Yeah, I know. Yet, of course, the Russian government is doing this. Like, of course, the Russian government is doing this way more than these Western governments are. But I mean, it's just because I know you're not suggesting that, but just because they're doing it, that doesn't mean that these Western countries should do it, right? They have to be better than that. So I think, like, okay, so see, like, we can prove, maybe. Oh, guys, I wanted to give myself like a medal right now to show that, like, I'm not being biased, right? To show, like, look, we gave him a point, we agreed with him on something, like, we're being as objective as possible. Okay. However, maybe I'm just giving this to him just so that I could act like I'm not biased. Right? See, maybe, like, he has 7 points, right? And we want to basically disagree with like 5 of it, but just 2 of it, we just like agree with him, just so that we could like act like we're being so objective, like, and just like celebrate for our objectivity, right? Yeah, okay. No Name is saying, sorry, I didn't mean to sound like it either. Yeah, I know you didn't say. I know you didn't mean to say it, but uh, but I just use your comment as an excuse to point that out. Thank you. Oh, some people are getting us medals for being unbiased. Thank you. Ian is like, stop, Arvin, stop. Okay. So Jack is also saying, yep, major censorship in Russia and the West. Okay, but still in Russia more than the West. Thank goodness for Rumble. YouTube censored Oliver Stone's documentary about Ukraine. Okay, yeah, I don't know the details of that. Okay, let's see what so this was point number 3. Let's go to point number 4.
Questions of freedom of speech.
Wait, somebody's saying something. Okay, so we have something in live chat saying, if the government was clamping down on expression by private citizens or independent news media groups putting forward pro-Russian positions, I would share the concern. Okay, sharing the concern is one thing, but getting the government to censor it is like, I would be more concerned about any government that has the authority to decide what news narratives they allow and which ones they don't. That would be even a bigger concern. Thank you so much, Secular Sekai, for the super chat. That's very nice. Secular Sekai just gave us a $2 super chat saying, everyone denounce Putin, not the Russian people. Yes, very good point. There's a whole bunch of anti-Russian sentiment going around. Please, everyone, remember that the Russian people are also a victim of this war. I mean, the main victims of this war is the Ukrainian people, but the Russians are also a victim of this war. And also, after the Russians, major victims of this war are going to be a lot of people in the Middle East, because they got their grains from Ukraine and Russia, and now food prices are going to get a lot higher in Egypt, in Lebanon, right? So they're also a victim of this war. I mean, everybody is a victim of this war, except Putin, I guess. All right, let's continue. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat, but let's move on to the next point now.
What happened, mate? What happened to it? It went tuss, yeah? Number 4, we know there are constant reports of journalists saying, hey, this is very surprising because these are people that look like us. And saying,
Wait.
hey,
they look just like
know
us.
there are constant reports of journalists saying, hey, this is very surprising because these are people that look like us. And they go as far as saying, yo, blonde hair, blue eyes.
It's very emotional for me because I see European people with blue eyes and blonde hair being killed.
And this narrative.
Okay, that was, I saw that clip. That was pretty racist. Okay, that was really, I think, guys, am I saying racism where there's no racism? I think that was pretty racist. I think that was really racist. So I'm agree. I mean, that was. Do you have more examples?
Has been pushed by American news, by British news, French news.
And this is not a developing third world nation. This is Europe.
Well, what are the...
Okay, I don't know if that one was racist. The first one was racist. The second one... Okay, the second one is not racist, but Ukraine is not like rest of Europe. Ukraine is pretty poor. So you're like, this is Europe. Well, we have Europe and we have Europe. Like we have Western Europe and we have Eastern Europe, and we have Ukraine is pretty poor. Like similar to many Middle East, like even below some Middle Eastern countries. Yeah, okay. The first one was definitely racist. Yeah, Secular Sekai is agreeing. So yeah.
The practical ramifications of this, the scenes that we can see of people clamoring on to trains to escape, we're being told.
So he's showing a news article on the screen that says Ukraine concerns mount as Black people report racism by fleeing war zone. Okay.
That Black people are being withheld. No.
All right. So I don't know if this is a hypocrisy, because this is like Eastern Europe, like the same people. I don't know how is this hypocrisy? This is just racism. So I agree that there's racism happening here, but how is this hypocrisy? Eastern Europe is pretty racist, in general. So there's no excuse for that. I mean, a lot of us knew that Eastern Europe has a huge racism problem. But how is this hypocrisy? Because how is this hypocrisy? Oh, is he saying like, I don't know. This is racism. It's bad, but it's not hypocrisy. Maybe I'm missing something. I'm on his side. Yeah, I'm also on his side that this is bad. Yeah, not sure if it's hypocritical. Yeah, exactly. Secular Jihadists is saying, yeah, not sure how this is hypocritical, but for sure it's racist. Yeah. So if you want, if yeah, we agreeing with him that this is bad and this is racism, but not sure. Yeah. I am saying maybe she meant infrastructure is European. No, she just meant like, yeah, she was saying that we don't expect this from Europe because this is supposed to be more civilized, more ahead, more progressive. I mean, like, yeah, but it's Ukraine. It's not like France.
To escape, we're being told that black people are being withheld. Number 5, sports stars, when promoting Palestine and Muslim causes, either get admonished or they get ignored by the cameras that are there filming. However, here with the Ukraine issue, they're being celebrated. Well done, mate. Well done.
Okay, so there was a news that people in this, I think this was a news event where people tried to bring Palestinian flags into a sports event. I don't know what sports event this is. And apparently they were told that they're not allowed to bring Palestinian flags. Okay, but then apparently Ukrainian flags at another sports event, it was allowed and people are celebrating them. Okay, this would be hypocrisy if this was happening at the same people who are banning those Palestinian flags are like celebrating the Ukrainian flags. Like, I'm pretty sure these are separate events. So I don't know, but okay, but it's safe to be fair to him. I think it would be safe to say that Ukrainian flags would have been allowed at this other event that the Palestinian flags were disallowed. How come? But I don't know. What was the reasoning? Like, it's weird. Why would they not allow Palestinian flags be shown at a sports event? That should be allowed. So again, maybe I'm with him on this one. But
And have the rules suddenly changed? Is it only for this issue you can do it temporarily? You know, when kids are playing it and they go time out. Okay, time in. What the? This is like a timeout, mate. And then they're gonna time in whenever a Muslim issue starts. Palestine, yeah, time in, mate. Yeah, sorry, that was only I was fixing my hair. Number 6.
all right, I think I give him that one as well. Damn, he's winning. Oh, okay. So yeah, okay. So Ayan has a good criticism. Ayan is saying, Armin, he has a collectivist mindset. He's generalizing all Western countries. Yeah, maybe like you're right. Maybe like when that's something that we could because he's like when he's saying you're being hypocritical, he's acting as if like all of these people are the same. Like, yeah. So if one of these, yeah, because very good point, Ayan. So because he's looking at some Westerners, even in the racist one, right? Even in the racist one and this one with the sports event, he's like, he's holding the entire West responsible. All of these Western countries responsible, all the people of all of these Western countries responsible for something that some of them did. So you're right. Very good point, Ian. So the only way these could be hypocrisy is he's attributing this to everybody in the West, and that's how it would be hypocritical. It wouldn't be hypocritical if these people, if the positions. So, for example, we don't know, like, a lot of these people in the West who are supporting Ukrainians, a lot of them would also be supporting, are against, like, for example, the war against Muslims in Yemen, right? So, yeah, you have to. This is why we have an individualist mindset. Like, if we want to point hypocrisy, we either look at each specific country's foreign policy or we look at each individual's position, right? Good point, Aya. Good point by Aya. And let me see what else you guys are saying in the live chat. Secular Sekai is saying the issue with racism on the border is a pretty bad issue. The border guards need to allow all non-combatants to leave, regardless of where they came where they are from. Yeah, but the fact that they're like using their ethnicity as a way to like just like decide whether they go or not, that's pretty ish. Like, but again, I think, by the way, I'm not excusing it. When I say this is not surprising, I think for a whole bunch of people who are aware of the level of racism in Eastern Europe, these didn't come as a surprise. You know, this is pretty common over there. Again, I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just saying it's just common there. It's also because like Eastern Europe, this is why I'm pro immigration, right? The reason why you see more racism in Eastern Europe, in Western Europe, is because Eastern Europe hasn't been exposed to immigrants as much as Western Europe has. Okay, I'm not. By the way, I'm not saying Western Europe doesn't have racism. Okay, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the more you're exposed to people from other places, it helps with racism. Unless you get exposed to them and you segregate them, that actually does the opposite. Okay, let me go to random Buddhist guy saying, I don't think it's racism per se, it's about proximity. We tend to focus on our own immediate neighborhood and sub-regions. I mean, they are living. No, I don't think. I think it's racism because random Buddhist guy. What do you mean? When they are not allowing Black people or Indians to cross the borders, this cannot be a proximity issue. They're right there. This was racism. How could it be a proximity issue? Those Indians and Black people and the Iranians who are trying to cross the borders, they're right next to them. You can't get any more proximate than that. Secular Rarity is saying, I don't know about this one. There have been lots of times and places where Free Palestine and many, many other messages were absolutely allowed, welcomed, and celebrated. Yes, many. Yeah, okay, so that's another good point. Many places are allowed, but these people have focused on one place that it wasn't allowed. So again, we could condemn that instant that it wasn't allowed, but it's not hypocrisy because it's just bad. That one, because then there's so many examples of them being allowed, right? So how come you're not seeing that? So you just condemn that one instance that they were not allowed, but you can't just like hold the entire West for not allowing, responsible for not allowing these things, because we have, again, very good point by Secular Rarity, because this is not that one event where they made that mistake, which we do not agree with. That does not represent all the positions from all Western countries. Like, God damn it. Like, that's like a pretty, it's a bit excessive. Yeah. Okay. So that's, Idris is saying, but Palestine is not a recognized country. Like, I know regional flags are banned in the Olympics. I don't care if it's recognized or not recognized. Like, what kind of a standard is that? I mean, okay, so like Taiwan, if they wanted to bring a flag of Taiwan, they would like, I'm pretty sure they would allow that, right? That's not also a recognized country. I don't think is there a rule that for you to be able to bring a flag as a way to support as a group of people, the country that you have to pick needs to be a recognized country by the United Nations. Like, what kind of a rule that would be? Like, I just think they should just allow people to bring whatever flags they want. Like, what the hell? Secular are saying, but I don't disagree that a lot of Middle East based cities are I agree with that too as well. Secular are saying, but I don't disagree that a lot of Middle East based crises get ignored. Look at Yemen. I agree with that as well. I'm hoping that he brings up that point. We haven't gotten there yet. Yeah, Ayan is keeping the score 3-0. What are you talking about? He had some good points. Yeah, maybe he gets only half the point for this one. Yes, okay, half the point for this one. Let's go to point number 6. Hold on, one more comment here. The Palestine comparison to Ukraine seems absurd to me. They are two very different situations, and many people have shown empathy towards Palestine over the years. Yeah, but the fact that they're different, that doesn't mean that they shouldn't like get the attention. Like, but yeah, you're right that the Palestinian people do get shown. I mean, yeah, actually, that's another good point by Secular Sekai. The Palestinian cause like gets a lot of coverage. I don't know why they're acting like people ignore it. It gets a lot of coverage relative to the size of the country and everything. Yeah, so actually that's a good point by Secular Sekai. It's not like everybody ignoring the people who are being ignored are the Yemeni people. Okay, the Yemeni people are being ignored. But yeah, we'll get to that. I'm hoping he brings that up. So I want to make a point about that. If he doesn't, remind me at the end to bring it up. Okay, so number 6.
To get the people to feel
Okay, point number 6 is using Palestine. What?
sorry. That was only I was fixing my hair. Number 6, to get the people to feel sorry for Ukraine, images that are inherently of Palestinian suffering are being confused for Ukrainian suffering. And then when
What?
they find out it's Palestinians, they're like, yeah. So the first one you can see is Israel bombing Palestine. Here,
Wait, what?
yeah. So the first
So he's showing a social media. Sorry, as a tweet from AP, Associated Press, that says social media users are sharing a photo of a fiery explosion with false claims that it shows Russia's 2022 attack on Ukraine. It actually shows Israelis' airstrikes in Gaza in 2021. Here are the facts. Okay, so this was a fact checked by the Associated Press.
first one you can see is Israel bombing
And this was an explosion, okay, in Gaza.
Palestine. Here you have somebody
Okay, that just seems like a mistake. Like I that doesn't seem that seems like that just seemed like fake news. Like that's not hypocritical. Like what are you talking about? Oh my god. You're reaching hypocritical. Like the fact that they use the wrong image to show the war in Ukraine shows that they don't care about the Palestinian issue. Like no, maybe they fixed it because the reason that they removed it is not because it was Palestine. The reason why they removed it because it was the wrong image. So it's not like, what did you expect him to do? They realized like, oh, this is the wrong image for this war, but let's keep it up and let's just keep highlighting it, because if we remove it, then it will show that we don't care about the Palestinians. Like obviously it has to be removed. I don't know what the hell, what point is he making here? Somebody help me out here. How is this hypocrisy? It just seems like it's just a mistake. Oh, thank you, Secular Sekai, for liking. Yeah, guys, like the I forgot. I see. This is why I don't know how to YouTube. Like the video so that this channel grows. Please like the video. Thank you. Yeah, Secular Rarity is saying, what the F is he talking about? I don't know how this is hypocrisy. It's just like a dumb mistake. Yeah, the Associated Press is correcting a false information from random idiots. Yeah, what is he supposed to do? Like, what the Associated Press is supposed to come like, yeah, this is not for this. This image is not in Ukraine. However, now that the image is here, let me remind you about the Palestinian people and the suffering that they're going through. Just because now that we're removing it, we should like it's going to look like we don't care about Palestine. I mean, the Associated Press covers Palestine better than most news outlets. So you can't act like the Associated Press was like hypocritical about this. They have coverage of the everything that happens in Gaza. So what is your problem? Like seriously, what's your problem? Oh, Ian is saying, Armin, you're looking hot today. Oh, thank you. I don't understand. I don't understand what this point. So let's see. Here's another image. Oh, okay. So somebody. Okay, so here's another, I think, Instagram post. Yeah, and they're using the famous image of that Palestinian girl who yelled at the soldier, Israeli soldier. So apparently they reposted this on Instagram, acting like this was a little girl, a Ukrainian girl. shouting at the Russian soldier, right? And the caption of on the Instagram post says, "Little girl tried to stop. Pray for Ukraine. Heartbreak emojis, and sad face emoji." Okay, I can't believe people actually don't know this video of this girl yelling at this Israeli soldier. If it's the same girl that I think, it's actually it's very famous. So for people who are not familiar with this, it's amazing that they're not familiar with this. But this actually, I don't know, guys. Remind me, if correct me if I'm wrong. This actually kind of shows some level of racism among supporters of Palestine as well, right? Because one reason, again, I'm happy to be corrected, and I don't know if I'm referring to the right story here. Okay, one reason why this Palestinian girl, went viral, and her activism against these soldiers became very popular, is because she had blonde hair, and I don't know what color eyes or whatever, but kind of she looked white, right? Am I correct? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I don't know what her name is. I watched a documentary about her. Okay, actually, yeah. So Ian saying play the video. Maybe we'll understand his point. Yeah, Ian saying, Armin, you're right. Yeah. You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
Called Ahid Tamimi, a little girl standing up.
Oh, Ahed Tamimi. Okay, thank you for the name. Ahed Tamimi. Yes, it was this girl. So this girl became very famous for like standing up against like Israeli soldiers, but like there are many people in Palestine who stand up against Israeli soldiers, and a lot of people think the reason why the reason why she became a very famous activist, is because she looks white, right? She has blonde hair and she has like a white looking face and everything, and that's the reason why even supporters of Palestinians, she got a lot more attention than other people, right? So if you want to point to hypocrisy of people paying attention to white skin or blonde hair and stuff, maybe her case, this is not the case that you want to highlight, because this shows hypocrisy on the pro-Palestinian side as well, right? Who's this guy? Is this a troll? Should I ban this guy? Okay, somebody's inviting us to Jesus in the live chat. All right, Siraj. Okay, Siraj is saying, I agree. If one is complaining about racism, then speak against all racism. No, I don't think that's a fair point. Like sometimes you want to highlight one act of racism. You can't be expected to highlight all acts of racism every time you want to point out a racism. Yeah, so okay, people are agreeing with me that case got a lot more attention because she was blonde. Okay, so this Muslim socialist is saying in the live chat, saying, LMAO, Western people are so stupid. How can you not know who that little Palestinian girl is? She had a very exotic features for an Arab, but aren't those features common for Palestinians? Well, I mean, you're talking, your expectations are way too high, Muslim socialists. People want Western people to know the details about their countries, while they themselves don't know the details about other countries, right? Do you guys know like the features of the difference between the features of people, I don't know, from Indonesia compared to Philippines? Like, you don't know that. So why are you expecting people from United States to all of a sudden know all these little details about what you are aware of? Just because you're aware of it, that doesn't mean like this is like a lot of information that you want everybody to know. Jesus Christ. Yeah, she does. Yeah, she does look Irish, somebody saying. I think it's reasonable to expect that's why her case got a lot of attention. Secular Rare saying also one thing that's struck me was the landscape in a lot of these videos were totally different from Ukraine. Yes, like come on, you all have some basic geography skills. I mean, guys, we follow the news too much. Like we can't expect other people to be like this aware about how Ukraine, what Ukraine's landscape looks like, right? Compared to I don't know where in Israel. Like you get your expectations of the average news consumer is a bit high. Anyways, let's go.
Up to an Israeli soldier. Now, my question is if these images are enough to get the people to mobilize, to get them to feel disgusted, to get them vocally speaking out against Russians, then when you find out it's of Israel oppressing Palestinians, why is the same zeal not there? And
what are you talking about? The same zeal not being there. This case became they're so famous. How what are you talking about? There's multiple documentaries about this girl. She became world famous. Look, she's been invited to speak to politicians. She has like so many interviews. Like why is she not getting attention? And if it was a Ukrainian girl, it would get attention. But now that you found it's a Palestinian girl, it doesn't get any attention. Are you sure about that? Because last time I checked, she's famous because of what she did. Like, this is not even hypocrisy. This is how is this hypocrisy? You're pointing she got attention. She got all the attention. What are you doing? I mean, look, even the pictures show her like, oh my God. Look, oh my, yeah, no, this is like false. Darko is saying this seems like they are playing victim Olympics. Secular Rarity saying that's fair, Armin. Secular Rarity saying, yeah, this guy is just confused on this and is spinning. It's a persecution narrative. Wait, does he not? Maybe he's not. Maybe we're more aware of Palestinian issues than he is. Because maybe he didn't realize what, because I just saw that picture. No, actually, no, he does. He must do. Okay, well, if he knows, then why is he saying? If he knows the girl, he knows how famous she is, and she knows how much coverage, he knows how much coverage she got on Western media. Okay, the Western media was obsessed with her for a while. So, no. Why are you? Did he just forget, or is he lying to us? Okay, so Muslim socialist in the live chat is saying, well, no offense, I'm a history and political science major. Okay, if you're a history and political science major, why do you expect everybody to be at your level? And you call people stupid for not them being like you studied these things. You know that people can't be at your level. And then you continue saying, I can't understand how easy it is for me to understand this stuff. Okay, yeah. Yet the average American doesn't care or understand, and it pisses me off. Okay, this is your anti-Americanism showing, okay? Because it's not the average American that doesn't understand this. It's the average anybody, okay? The average level of understanding of basic geography or like news events everywhere is low. And in the places that it's higher, it's because people's lives are miserable enough for it to be affected by world politics, so they know it by force. Okay, so but yeah, this is not an American issue. This is everywhere. This is an issue. All right, let's continue, Will.
Oppressing Palestinians. Why is the same zeal not there? And finally,
same zeal, guys. Are we lacking zeal for the support of Palestine? Like, is that like something that we're short of? Is there a lack of zeal for supporting Palestinian causes? Because last time I checked, the zeal was up to the roof. Muslim socialist saying, thanks for answering. Oh, no problem. Secular Rarity is saying, good points, Armin. I always have to remember to pull back my expectations in terms of how knowledgeable people are, about world politics. Yeah, and also we should forgive them. People have, like, other people, like, their profession, their work requires them to provide for their family. They can't just like sit and study all these things and just be informed about everything all the time, right? So be forgiving of people not knowing things. All right, so let's go to feminism and LGBT. Okay, so let's point this.
News
Number
are coming out that in why
So
is the same zeal not there? And
Okay, point number 7.
finally, news are coming out that in Ukraine, if you are a man between the ages of 18 and 60, you are not allowed to leave. Rather, you are expected to stay and fight.
Feminism literally just means you believe in equality of the sexes.
Where are the feminists? Why don't they have an issue with this? What happened to equal rights?
Okay, equal rights, not equal. Okay, so I think you're confusing equal rights with them being equal, like in every aspect. Obviously, men are stronger than women. Like equal rights, I don't know. What do you guys think about this? Should women be expected, like if they're forcing men to go fight, should the expectation be that women get to go fight as well?
We need to see women there. I'm not hearing a single woman saying,
equal rights, let's do a march, mate. We should be there as well.
in fact, where the
Yeah, actually, I don't know about this because men are not picking. It's not like they're picking up swords, right? How much body strength do you need to be able to fight in modern wars? Yeah, I mean, maybe he's right on this one. Yeah, this is very unfair to men.
LGBT guys who say,
Hang on a minute, what do you mean, mayor? Gender is fluid.
Okay, that's bull crap.
There's hundreds of different
LGBT guys who say,
hang
Wait, like, before he goes to the next point, on gender stuff, maybe I agree with him on this. I don't know if I agree with him. Okay, Jack is saying, yeah, Jack, I'm going to come to Yemen issue at the very end. Jack is saying, I agree, Yemen is being ignored. Screw the Saudi government and shame on my country, America, for enabling them. I agree with that. One Squirrel is saying, I agree with him here. Wow, I know this guy isn't as confused as on this point as he is pretending. Okay, secularity. I don't know. I'm actually thinking like this is unfair to men. Tell me why you disagree with this. Yes, I mean, I think they're equal here. They have guns. Nobody should be forced. Actually, okay, Frank, you're correct. Actually, nobody should be forced to fight. Okay, and if why? I think, okay, so I don't know what you're saying here. Would sex be a criteria and not individual ability? Okay, so Frank has it. I think I agree with Frank. First of all, nobody should be forced to fight, whether they're male or female. But and the criteria shouldn't be on based on gender here, especially in modern warfare where body strength is not that big of an issue. I think. I mean, I'm not. I don't know how war. I mean, I've never been a soldier, so I wouldn't know. So one squirrel saying feminist claims. Well, let's not say all feminists. Yeah, let's not generalize feminists because feminists disagree. But I'm going to read your comment. You're saying feminists claim that women are just as capable fighters as men, yet they are suspiciously silent now. Okay, so one squirrel, I thank you for showing me how you're wrong and how he's wrong as well. Because did he just like generalize feminist?
18 and 60 news are coming out that in Ukraine, if you are a man between the ages of 18 and 60, you are not allowed to leave. Rather, you are expected.
Yeah, that's bullcrap, Ukraine. Ukraine government, you can't force people to fight like this. This is insane.
To stay and fight.
Feminism literally just means you believe in equality of the sexes.
Where are the feminists? Why don't they have an issue with this? What happened to equal rights?
Okay, so he didn't claim that all feminists say anything. He's asking why no feminists are not pointing this out. Okay, so Jack gave us a $2 super chat. Thank you, Jack. Thank you for the balanced analysis. Oh, thank you, Jack. I appreciate your comment, and also thank you for the support. I really appreciate that. Yeah, that makes me feel good. Thank you. Okay, so fair point to him. Where are the feminists who are saying that there should be equal rights? Maybe there are. I don't know if there are not any. Maybe just because he's not noticing it, it doesn't mean they don't exist. Okay, so maybe there are feminists who are pointing this out, but I haven't seen it.
We need to see women there. I'm not hearing a single woman.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty unfair. I'm agreeing with him. This is pretty unfair to men. Like, what the hell? Why do we, like, this is the 21st century. Why do we still have to die more when there's a battle, right? Like, what happened to equality and stuff? Like, why do we have to be at the front lines and just give our lives, like, you know? Okay, let me see. Secularity is saying, I don't think they are actually forcing men to stay and fight, though. Well, they're forcing them to stay. With the expectations that they're potentially going to be fighters, right? So they're basically, if you are a man, you don't get to leave. And basically, men are being exposed to a higher degree of risk and lower degree of freedom of mobility than women. I mean, that's pretty unfair to the men. Yeah. Yeah, somebody is saying there are women fighting. Yeah, but the women who are staying, they get to choose to stay. But the men, they don't get to choose to stay. They have to stay. That is pretty unfair. I don't think that's right. That's unfair. So I agree with him on this. Secular rights saying, I don't know, Armin. I don't think there is an actual policy law in place that prevents men from leaving. Well, there are news reports have said that there is. So either if the news is wrong, then I don't know what to do with that. Like I'm just basing it I'm just commenting based on what I heard on the news. I don't know if the news is false. Well, then my opinion will change. Oh, so you're saying, there's no. Okay, so you're saying in practice, though, yes, men are being forced to stay. Oh, you're saying there's no official law, but in practice, they're being stopped. Okay, well, then it's unfair. It's unfair to men. Yeah, Darko is confirming that men are not allowed to leave the country. All right, let's continue. So, yeah, I gave this point to him.
Saying,
Equal rights, let's do a march, mate. We should be there as well.
in fact, we're the LGBT guys who say,
Hang on a minute, what do you mean, mayor? Gender is fluid.
Wait, I can't hear what he's saying because they're changing the tone. What do you mean, what?
There's hundreds
Oh, what do you mean, male?
of different types of gender. How dare you discriminate the men?
no,
Okay,
because it doesn't suit your case there, isn't it? When push comes to shove, yeah, it's male and female. But yeah, when things are a bit easy, yeah, there's hundreds of genders, mate.
Okay, I think the people who are talking about gender being a spectrum, they don't deny the fact that most genders are male and female. So I think this is a straw man. Like, yeah, gender is a spectrum, but most people are at the extreme ends of male and female. So no, I don't think anybody is denying that. Even the people who are in favor of claiming that there's hundreds of genders. So why would you, like, in the time of war, why would you, like, spend, when you're trying to figure out how you have bigger problems than addressing 0.5% of the population that might be gender fluid. So I don't see any point here. What is his point? Like, yeah, it wouldn't be very convenient at this time to be like, okay, let's say, for example, it was okay to say, it's not okay, but let's say if it's okay to force men to stay and women and children could leave, okay? If that was okay, I don't think at this time it would make sense to also come up with a policy to what to do with gender fluid people at the time of war like this. Even if you completely agree, as I do, that gender is a spectrum for a minority group of people who are like gender fluid and stuff, I agree with that, but I don't think that's the right time to address that over here. So that's not a good point. Okay, Secularity is saying, okay, I just double checked. There is a policy in place that prevents most men from leaving Ukraine right now, but there are exemptions. Okay, but that's bad. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't force your citizens to stay. Okay, in fact, like how? Yeah, I mean that would like that's not really good for morale, anyways, right? We want people who are staying to fight. The people who are like, yeah, I believe in this goddamn cause. That's why I'm staying and fight. Like, generally, you don't want to do that to people. But it's wrong for two reasons. It's wrong because you're forcing people to stay, and also wrong because you're just being sexist when you're making the criteria based on people's gender. Okay, so one squirrel is saying the point is that most progressives are perfectly fine when traditional gender roles with traditional gender roles when it's convenient, and against gender roles when they could profit. Choose one. Okay, one squirrel. This is Eastern Europe. I don't think this is like they're suffering from being overly progressive. So if he wants to, oh, okay. So you're talking about progressives outside of Ukraine, not talking about this. Yeah. I don't know if they are. I don't think progressives are like, you don't know, like maybe these progress, like, okay, so if we're talking about like far left, like insane wokey progressives, they're actually insane enough to might actually be consistent even here and be like, yeah, you need to come up. Why are you saying male and female soldiers? Why are you like not? Where's your list for everybody else, right? So I don't know if you think that maybe they would come and say that. I don't know. Has anybody checked? And also it depends on each individual. Some of them might say it, some of them like, again, okay, so what we're doing here, which is we're treating progressives as a collective, as if they all have the same opinion. I honestly don't know what they would say if you be like, let's go ask progressives, what do you feel about the Ukrainian government right now are coming up with the policy on what to do with male and female, men and women trying to leave Ukraine, and the fact that they're not addressing other genders. I don't know how would they respond. I don't know. I think they would just stare at you. What do you guys think? Okay, let me see in live chat. Secular is saying, yeah, but I'm only half and half on this one, like one of his other points. Okay. Okay, Secular is saying, still out of his 7 points, about half of them I'm on board with. Okay, so he's not doing as bad as I thought. He started really bad, but it got a little bit better. Dark is saying, I imagine refugees would not be accepted in the same way if they were not mostly women and kids. Actually, I don't know if that's true because, Polish border guards are pretty racist. Like, well, not all of them. Okay, I have to make sure that I'm not talking collectively as well. But it does seem like they're a lot more tolerant of men, Ukrainian men as well, compared to how they treated Syrian refugees and other refugees from the Middle East. Guys, please like the video. Thank you. Jack gave us a $5 super chat. Guys, this is insane. Like, we get so many super chats for the, thank you. Jack gave us a $5 super chat. Thank you so much for the support. Saying, false equivalent by Smile to Jannah. Western people are condemning Putin and Russian government while he wants us to condemn Israel as a nation. Oh, that's another interesting point. Yeah, because we do okay. That's an interesting point. Because we don't condemn Russia. We shouldn't be condemning Russia. I mean, some people do. We should be condemning Putin. That's an interesting, good point by Jack. Okay, what? Russia has homophobic and misogynist laws and is trying to impose imperial oppression on Ukraine at the barrel of thing. Okay, but that's not what we're talking about here. Let's continue with the video.
I think I changed my gender as I was saying that sentence to you. So, will Ukraine be accused of being transphobe? Will they be accused of being backwards?
Okay, transphobe, and that doesn't, I don't know where you're getting that from. Okay, but sexist, yeah, those are sexist. Those are some sexist policies, I find.
I don't know.
All right, guys, don't forget to keep supporting me on Patreon.
Okay, so here's the major problem I have with this video. So this was the end of it, okay? But my main problem with his video is not what he said, but what he didn't say, okay? I suspect racism, correct me, like I might be wrong about this, okay? I suspect there's a whole bunch of racism from people, from a lot of Muslims or supporters of Palestinian people, okay? I think a lot of it, I think you can tell that a lot of it is because of racism against Jewish people. And my reasoning for that is that you don't see the same amount of zeal and condemnation and activism in support of Yemeni people, right? Relative to the Palestinian people, right? Even though right now, especially in the past couple of years, I think 7 or 8 years, the Yemeni people have gone through have been subject to the greatest humanitarian crisis of our time, and numbers are astronomical. The number of people who are dying from war, starvation, disease, and again, these are the people who are being treated like this, like the amount of misery that they're being subjected to is coming from not just Saudi Arabia, but also, and not just Iran and Saudi Arabia, the governments of Saudi Arabia and Iran, but also the government of the United States. So, which they have no problem seeing as an enemy. Like we condemn United States for the support that they have for Saudi Arabia, on what they're doing to the Yemenis people, right? But I'm suspecting, and I'm happy to be corrected on this if you guys disagree with this, right? But I suspect that a lot of the, why is that Muslims suffering in other places doesn't get the same amount of attention compared to Muslims in Palestine? And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that supporting Palestinians comes from, there's extra motivation for that because you get to be against Jews. Like it's more of an the motivation, a lot of the motivation, and not all of it, okay? Like I'm not trying to condemn everybody who's supporting Palestinian people. Palestinian people deserve attention. The Palestinian people deserve to live better lives, especially people in Gaza are living under horrible conditions and they don't deserve that, right? So, but why is that getting more attention relative to, like, for example, Muslims in Yemen by other Muslims as well? And I think I suspect it's because people want to be anti-Jewish. It's more of an anti-Jewish motivation rather than an pro-Palestinian motivation. Okay, and if I'm right about this, then him in this entire video, okay, mostly comparing it to the Palestinian cause not getting enough attention, which it does get a lot of attention. Palestinian cause gets a lot of coverage, Western media coverage as well. But the actual forgotten war that he doesn't compare it to is the Yemeni war, which is a lot more devastating to the people who are being subjected to it. He's forgetting that. And I think that is because of racism against Jewish people. So he's like, so he wants to point out hypocrisy. That's the hypocrisy that I want to point to, which is also motivated, I think, by racism. But let me see what you guys think about this, my last point here. Oh, Sina is saying absolutely correct. Okay, thank you, Sina. Oh, we got another $5 super chat by Jack. Wow, Jack, are you sure you want to? That's a lot of support. Thank you. Jack is saying, speaking as a U.S. military veteran, it takes a lot of physical strength to be a frontline soldier. Is generally easier for men to meet those requirements. Okay, Jack, thank you so much for that information. I did not know that, so thank you for correcting us on that. Thank you, Jack. And again, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. And we got another. Oh my God, we got a $10 super chat from Secular Sekai. Guys, why are you guys being so generous today? Thank you so much. Secular Sekai with his $10 super chat is saying all conflicts harming innocent civilians should be equally condemned. Well, I mean, I don't think equally condemned that makes sense because it depends. I think the Yemeni one should be take the highest priority because right now that is the highest number of innocent civilians are being subject to levels of misery that is just unbelievable, right? I do think that should take priority. So, and the Secular Sakai is continuing by saying race, ethnicity, religion, and government interests shouldn't affect the level of outrage. Okay, yeah, I agree with that part. If only the world were a better place. Yes, if only, yeah. Yeah, I think guys, I'm gonna use this opportunity as an excuse to tell people to please do not forget the war in Yemen. Okay, the Ukrainian people deserve your attention, the Palestinian people deserve your attention, but right now, above all, okay, Yemeni people, please, okay, don't when I say please pay attention. Like if Ukrainian people deserve your attention, the Yemeni people also do deserve it. Please do not take that as me saying reduce your attention to Ukrainian people because the Ukrainian people deserve all the support they're getting. Okay, we wish the Yemeni people were getting the same level of support that the Ukrainian people are getting, but not by decreasing the support that Ukrainian people are getting. The Ukrainian people are getting all the support that they deserve, but they deserve even more than that. Okay, but I wish we lived in a world where Yemeni people were considered to be as worthy of people of the world's support because they're going through so much more misery right now than what Ukraine is going through, and nobody not nobody, the world doesn't seem to give a crap, right? Oh well. Al Uza gave even an Islamic channel. Like this was an opportunity for Islamic channel, Smile to Jannah. You didn't mention the Yemenis people. You mentioned the Palestinian people. I mean, do mention the Palestinian people, but this was your chance to bring attention to the war that has been so forgotten that they're calling it the forgotten war. Thank you so much, Al Uza, for the $2 super chat. Okay, I'm gonna head out soon. Okay, Secular Sekai is saying, do you know if some good nonprofits trying to help in Yemen? Yes, the one I picked for donations because I think is Save the Children. Okay, not Save the Kids. Okay, that was like a scam. Save the Children. It's a very, very reputable charity with very good ratios of support. The management ratio is pretty low. And the reason why I like Save the Children is because it's very unlikely for your donation to go where it's not supposed to go because it's going directly to children. Okay, and the children are the future, right? Children deserve the most because they're the most vulnerable, and also when you invest in children, you're investing in the future of a country. So if you go, I think Save the Children has a Yemeni section on their website, so you could. That's the charity that I would suggest. If you want to support Yemeni people. Yes, I agree with that. Anyways, I have to head out soon. Okay, guys, thank you so much for your support. Please like this video. If you think what I'm doing here is valuable, please share this video. Please tell people to subscribe to this channel. Yes. And thank you. Oh, Secular Rarity is saying great analysis, Armin. Oh, thank you. Darko is saying, I can't help but care more about a war that is a couple of 100 miles from me and has the potential to go nuclear. Yeah, I'm not saying, yeah, I completely understand why the Ukrainian, I'm not saying, I actually, let me actually make this clear. The Ukrainian war, the war itself deserved more attention, okay? Because we're talking about a conflict that, getting involved in nuclear power in a conflict is devastating to the entire world. Okay, so the war itself, I agree that the Ukraine-Russia war is a lot more significant than wars in the Middle East. Okay, because if this conflict increases and all of a sudden nuclear powers get into direct conflict with each other, it would be devastating to the planet. It's way, the consequences of that is way beyond like Israel, Palestine, or Saudi Arabia and Yemen. Okay, I wasn't suggesting that this war itself is as important. No, this war with Ukraine and Russia is more important because of the planet is at risk, right? However, what I was suggesting is like when it comes to the people, we should advocate for like bringing attention to the people themselves. Obviously, I think we all agree they all deserve attention. They all deserve support, right? So the war itself, this war is more important, but when it comes to the support of the people who are victims of this war, I think it helps if we remember the people who have been forgotten. Anyways, I have to head out. Thank you for all the great points. Music guy saying thanks for watching, guys. Like the video. Yes, please, guys. Please like the video and subscribe and recommend this to your friends. And also when the stream is over, if you leave a comment, that also helps the channel. All right, guys. Bye-bye.